Penn State, Happy Valley. The blue-white game took place this weekend.
Happy.
Beautiful weather. You didn't have any rain.
No rain. It was delightful. A rarity for the blue-white game.
What else did you like about the game besides the weather? What stood out? Hey, who won the game?
The white won the game.
I had the blue.
The white
Shucks.
won the game. Well, most blue would be the favorite most years because, frankly, normally they stack the teams a little bit in blue's favor, and blue's normally.
I knew that.
Particularly the offense is usually the starting offense is usually blue. This year, I thought it was more scrambled than I ever remember it being. Guys were switching teams during the game. Guys playing for both teams. Guys running guys in and out. It was very hard to get a sense of certain of the position groups,
right,
especially the offensive and defensive lines. Hard to get a sense of who's coming to the front there at all.
Is there sort of a metaphor in that, though, all that scrambling, because there's a lot of topsy-turvy what's going to go on. There's a lot of room for guys to sort of break out right now on the defensive and offensive lines. There's a lot of changes going on right now this year because of graduation.
I love it when you get metaphorical.
Every now and then.
You do it nicely. Yeah, there is. I mean, they've got certain key position areas where they definitely have holes to fill, and the secondary offensive line. I really think offensive line is the number one thing that's going to have to come together. They've got to replace three kids up there, all of whom are going to have a chance to play in the NFL.
Shipley even got drafted.
Yeah, they all got drafted. Warnberger went to, I think, the third round, second round to the Patriots. I mean, that surprised me, and I was delighted to see that because he's a character. He may turn into be one of these guys that ends up in broadcasting or something. Anyway, that's, I think, the key one because you really have to have some cohesiveness, some communication, some techniques. I mean, it takes some time for an offensive line to develop.
A couple of spots. Did Lee play at all?
Lee did not. Sean Lee, the linebacker who missed all of last year with a knee injury, did not play.
Should that be a concern?
It should not. I don't think, because I think it's purely precautionary. They're just keeping him out of full contact. He was in uniform. He did warm up with the team, but he didn't play, and I don't think that's a big deal.
Clark, the quarterback, did play and played pretty well, didn't he?
He played really well. Didn't play a whole lot, and he had the red jersey on, so there was no contact. But he completed 10 out of 13 passes, and he had a couple dropped, 100 and some yards. I mean, he just sort of effortlessly looked real good. It's definitely his team. He is a leader. He is a charismatic kid. He's really the guy right now.
Who's his backup? Who's emerging as the backups there, and how do they play? Newsom's one of them, and who's the other guy?
Two kids, Kevin Newsom, incoming freshman who enrolled in January, played and looked pretty good. Looked like he has the ability to run around and elude. Very strong arm. Has apparently made a lot of progress in the last couple of weeks in sort of understanding what he's doing and getting the ball out quickly and all that stuff. But I don't think he's a clear leader over this kid, Matt McGloin, who is from the Scranton area, walk-on, not a big kid, like 6'1", 190, moves around pretty well, but certainly not the runner that Clark or Newsom are. But, I mean, he's a pretty effective player. I mean, he's a guy that Joe was telling us about last year, and now he's a redshirt freshman. I think he and Newsom are pretty close. I think if the season started today, Newsom would be number 2 and McGloin would be number 3, but I don't think it's a blowout at all.
Let's talk about another local guy here, Graham Zug. How did he do at receiver for Penn State?
Graham Zug was probably their number 4 wide receiver last year, after the 3 seniors who were 4-year starters, who were really stars. And so it figures that he ought to be able to step in and start now, and I think he probably will. He had a good game on Saturday. He caught I think he had 4 catches, caught a touchdown pass. Really seems confident and in control, and like he knows what he's doing. He's never going to be a phenomenal, explosive, playmaking athlete, but he gets open and he catches it.
I got to ask you about Hodges, Gerald Hodges, starting in the backfield. He's starting in safety.
Strong safety. I think he's going to be the strong safety, and he's another kid who is an incoming freshman, January enrollee. So he's way ahead of the game.
He should still be in high school.
Yeah, right, exactly. Wow. And this is a kid who was very highly recruited. Ohio State. He originally verbal to Ohio State. He's a blue chipper, and he looked like the kind of kid who is really going to be an aggressive, big hitter. I think they're okay at safety with this kid and Drew Astorino. Although who knows? I mean, it's April, but I really am impressed with that kid's athleticism. Astorino is a very solid kid. Cornerback is another question.